That young man fills me with hope and some other emotions that are strange and confuse me a lot.
What? Welcome to a new video on NEGAYO's channel. I can't start this story without first telling you that in fact animation won. After 27 years, the Man of Steel finally returns as the lead in a new animated series and in Superman and Lois. To me, it's one of the best recent superhero adaptations outside of comics. Now we just need Superman Legacy to premiere, so it can finally bury that dark, depressing concept popular over the last decade. My Adventures with Superman updates the superhero icon as he searches for his origins. But don't forget this Boy Scout is the planet's most powerful being? Basically, a good person raised by loving parents. Damn show, it's beautiful. I love you more than my kids. Despite the criticism, it's not the first time Detective Comics has used anime influence in its products. This already happened with Batman and Catwoman, and the Suicide Squad will follow soon. So, regardless of the designs, I recommend you relax and enjoy the story. If you haven't seen it yet, you might be in for a surprise. Our fun adventure begins in Metropolis, with Clark Kent trying to be normal on his first day as an intern at the Daily Planet. But no, he can't. Still, this doesn't dampen his spirits. He saves a cat, meets a woman in a store, gets a bib, takes donuts, and saves his friend's life, Jimmy Olsen. On his way to his new job, it just so happens that this beautiful woman named Lois Lane is also an intern. But her somewhat overly bold attitude, trying to chase big stories, gets her in trouble with Barry White. Don't worry, being close to getting fired won't stop her. She acts immediately. She deceives them into believing they must find stolen technology hidden in the city. After exchanging information with the very serious and businesslike legion of spokespeople, the reporters deduce that the technology they're looking for might be transported in the garbage trucks. These kids have been seeing this more often on the streets, and sure enough, they arrive at a suspicious place that unfortunately is already empty, although a small clue was left behind. Unfortunately for Lois, at that moment, Barry White calls Clark, threatening to fire all three of them if they don't return to the Daily Planet. I trusted you.
And you used Jaime and me just to get your story.
Her lie is revealed, and despite her excuses, she truly acted selfishly. She doesn't accept it at the moment, of course, but about 10 seconds later, when she remembers that Clark is a saint and really muscular, then she does. The badge they found had the port's initials. It was clear suspicious things were happening there. And since these thieves aren't very smart, when they discover the reporters, they activate the giant machines to kill them. Seeing the danger, Flip quickly searches for Clark and gets hit by a giant robot after arriving. However, it was the perfect opportunity to use his powers and save his friends.
Well, I didn't plan for something like this. Buyer, I need you to...
The rest of the machines are also activated. The flying man tries to face the danger despite being at a disadvantage. Luckily, Lois was here to help him as much as possible. He deactivates almost all the robots, and at the last second, Clark awakens a powerful force that sends them flying through the air. This thing. This guy disappears without having said a single word, and Clark is fortunately okay. Lois apologizes and Perry doesn't fire them despite their disobedience and lack of a decent photo. But most importantly, the three of them have committed as a team to getting an interview with this so-called Superman. Lois quickly gathers reports of unexplained events, and Jimmy Olsen, a conspiracy theory enthusiast, becomes fascinated. He even has a blog called Firebird to discuss these topics and claims Superman is extraterrestrial.
A man descended from the sky and risked his life to save us, not for a reward.
Fame, but because we needed it. Wouldn't you like to know who he is?
All this investigation motivates Clark to return to Smallville to find out more about his origin. Meanwhile, Lois and Jimmy are in charge of looking for the woman who tried to kill them. From a very young age, Clark discovered that he was different. He could do things no one else could, and his parents ended up revealing the whole truth to him. The ship he arrived in was buried in the field, but when it activated, what they saw terrified all three.
You will always be our son, but...
Despite this memory, Martha and Jonathan supported their son. I don't feel well, so I should go, just Martha. The ship reactivated while Clark was there, making him vanish. The strange man from before was still here, but since his language was incomprehensible, he revealed his true origin to Clark. He was the last son of a dead planet. This man was Jor-El. His father, Clark Kent, came back outside with a new hairstyle and a flashy suit that his mom then altered. Jimmy and Lois were searching for the thief, following clues which I'm too lazy to explain. The key point is, they went through an explosive-filled sewer and found her meeting someone. Then she began fighting that person in the crowd. This woman had kept some of that strange technology that gave her special abilities. Thanks to Jimmy, Superman quickly left Smallville, and this is his first appearance as such in the city of Metropolis. During the fight, he destabilizes his opponent's energy core, forming an unstable field. Despite challenges, this artifact was destroyed and caused visions in Superman. The citizens saw a battle unlike any before and watched Superman fix the chaos in seconds. And Lois and Jimmy finally got that photograph. Yes, Lois and Clark, you can tell there, but...
They're totally in love.
Jimmy Olsen is here to stop you from holding hands before marriage and let you know your story was stolen. Let's discuss Leslie Willis, who is better known as Livewire in the traditional canon. This thief stole technology that we now know belongs to the government. Knowing she was being followed and unable to sell it, she distributed it across the city. Just because she's bad. She didn't realize she was dealing with very dangerous people. Amanda Waller, Slade Wilson, and the Task Force X General sought answers about Superman. Even as days went by, people still weren't getting used to the presence of this superhero in the city. No matter how often Lois found him during a rescue, he always refused interviews. The technology in the hands of minor thieves quickly became a bigger issue. They organized robberies, broke into prisons, and reporters searched for clues everywhere, even though at their jobs they weren't taken seriously. All that investigating paid off when they found some criminals robbing a bank. But unfortunately, these guys' technology was a little out of control. A minor disaster was enough for Clark to disappear for a moment and for Superman to face the villains. A damaged machine caused the ice to spread. Superman was worried about his friends, and before it was too late, heat vision appeared. This energy core is also destroyed, causing new visions for Clark. We will explain this later. For now, the main thing is Lois finally gets a brief interview with this man who is clearly not Clark Kent. Superman agreed as a reward to Miss Lane for helping people escape during the bank disaster. But let's just say she didn't really get any valuable information. He didn't know the source of his powers, their workings, or who they were. But for now, he just wanted to help people. Of course, none of his answers convinced Lois. So what did you think? Superman? It is
a talker.
The team returned to seek more dubious information to uncover the truth about Superman. However, today they would have to put the mystery aside because Perry, he finally lets them attend an event by Dr. Ivo, president of Amazotech and a suspect in unproven frauds and crimes. Before going to the event, Clark realizes that the conspiracy magazines weren't so wrong after all. Their job was to interview Ivo, the most sought-after bachelor at the time. Noticing the party was full of powerful corrupt people, Lois Lane looks for her chance, asking about serious accusations against these people, and no, it doesn't work. For some reason, people don't like to make public those crimes that could land them in jail. Clark encourages her, and as he convinces her to continue with their assigned questions, Dr. Ivo appears. Yes, a very extravagant presentation, and all of that announcing a new surprise product that would change humanity. I think he was going to resell the Barbie cups that sold out in theaters, or the Spider-Man popcorn buckets to get even richer. I don't know, but go ahead and place your bets. The truth is that Ivo had problems in his company. They were about to kick him out. And in the middle of the argument, he's interrupted by Clark. This poor guy thought he could bribe the reporter so he wouldn't say a word about him reselling the Barbie cups at outrageous prices. He promised him exclusive details about his social life and women. When he spoke to Lois disgustingly, Clark confronted and embarrassed him in front of everyone. He gets expelled, but Lois arrives to help her partner. They flirt briefly before being interrupted. She says she doesn't talk to her dad and feels frustrated because the Daily Planet doesn't take her seriously. In this moment of confessions, Clark almost revealed his identity, but no, it's too soon and we need more drama. Here, they find a secret room with the same technology used by the Intergang thieves and Livewire. This was the surprise product that Parasite was going to show tonight. version 1.0. This technology was intended to be used as armor. Aibo had planned a big demonstration to attract Superman's attention. The clown attacked the defenseless superhero. The enemy's power increased by absorbing the blows, but don't worry, Lois and Jimmy are here to help. Hey Lex, it's been a while. The energy walls set off. Superman dodged Aibo's attacks until a discharge from the armor resulted in serious consequences for the madman.
What do you want? What do you gain from this?
Dr. Evil looks around. Is it so hard for you to believe that some of us just want to help?
Damn, this really is Superman. Animation wins again. The bad news is that Aibo's technology is gone. The good news is that tonight counted as a date for them. The other bad news is Jimmy is starting to feel left out of the team, and it gets worse. Lois finds incriminating evidence in Clark's code. Jimmy Olsen was increasingly forgotten, while Clark focused on where Livewire's technology came from. It was increasingly clear to Lois that the two were the same person. She had been following Superman all day to question him. She intervened during a robbery and made the hero wait until Clark Kent arrived. This was actually dangerous, but thanks to one criminal who stayed behind. Her name is Headwave and she's Flash's enemy. What are you doing here? Thanks to her, they learned someone has been kidnapping those who stole this technology. She was certain it was Superman, but escapes before explaining further. After dropping Lois off at the Daily Planet, Superman meets Headwave again, who is being chased by Deathstroke. After the soldier stops the thief, he fights the superhero as the evil General Yamanda Waller watches. They owned the technology and had been kidnapping criminals, so why were they attacking Superman? That's the question. The civilians were in great danger and Slade had the opportunity to capture the target. However, the general withdraws from the mission to avoid risking innocent lives. Clark arrived at the planet injured, again lying about his absence and pretending to know nothing. Lois was fed up, so she took an extreme step, a classic move for the reporter, by putting herself in danger to reveal her partner's identity. And did it work? Clark had his reasons for keeping his secret, but Lois couldn't help feeling angry about this lie. Not from someone as noble as him, who meant something special to her. Amid the conflict, they both forgot about Jimmy and the trip they had planned with him. The guy went camping alone and got kidnapped by a gorilla, so the lesson? Drink 2 liters of water a day. Noticing he was missing, the two made peace to search for him, fearing he was kidnapped. Just like the criminals, they explored the area where they were going to camp, found a sheltered spot and Jimmy's phone. Apparently, an energy field made the facilities invisible and also weakened Clark and his friend. Was he here in what was once Katmos? They found human remains and military vehicles everywhere. Did they feel bad for ditching their friend? There was more romantic drama and also some killer robots. Meanwhile, Jimmy Olsen was spared when they discovered he wasn't a spy. He befriended the French gorilla kidnapper and his boyfriend, the floating machine. That's because they created many strange artifacts and creatures that roam the world, and this guy was a big fan. And before you claim forced inclusion, this relationship was already in the comics. Also, whenever Jimmy discusses these topics, he hints at other Detective Comics universe characters. We already saw that he was right about the existence of a super intelligent French gorilla. Maybe it's only a matter of time before we learn more about Aquaman, Starro, and others. I mean, we already saw Headwave, who's a Flash villain, and that could later confirm the existence of Barry Allen. These two are linked to the Doom Patrol, Amanda Waller, and many villains who end up in Belle Reve prison. Later, we'll see a reference-filled episode and meet Vicky Vale, straight from Gotham City. But we'll talk about that when the time comes. Going back to the story of these two, 22 years ago, they belonged to this super-secret government facility. After Special Force X attacked to seize the alien technology, they activated a black hole, causing everything to vanish. The attackers thought there were no survivors, so these two have lived here alone ever since. They formed a new black hole, hoping to stabilize it so they can eventually go somewhere they're accepted for who they are. It has nothing to do with it, but Clark spent half the episode shirtless. Show off. At least they found Jimmy and apologized. Clark had thought a lot before telling him his secret. But Clark, I already know you're Superman. It's not a big surprise, but what a friend, Jimmy Olsen. Indeed, it's friendship. Afterward, robots not connected to Katmos attacked them, so they used the black hole to eliminate the threat. Although this action nearly destroyed the building, the portal stabilized by the adventure's end, after saying goodbye and warning Clark about the Special Forces General X. Cerebro and Monsieur Malat departed for the unknown. We also found that this general led Force X 22 years ago. It appears he now works with Evo. Clark shows the ship to his friends. There's no hard feelings if these two officially start dating. The idea was to escape even briefly from Metropolis' strange crimes. But anyway, a floating interdimensional imp appears, making a bunch of references to other Superman animations. He tricks him into thinking Lois is in danger and takes him through a portal to Earth. Prime here refers to the universe of the Fleischer animated shorts. They arrived at a vault filled with references to other characters, and Clark realizes he was deceived. Why? Lois wasn't actually in danger. She and Jimmy were intercepted by an interdimensional squad of Lois Lanes. They said that Clark was in danger and took both of them along in their search since this guy, Mr. Mick Spidleck, was putting all of reality at risk. However, these multiversal Loises were also behaving oddly. At the first chance, Lois Lane began investigating what they could be hiding. She saw other versions of herself. Strangest was a classified file on Superman who was taken by Mix to Earth 14. Yes, they made him seem like the villain helping destroy the multiverse. What?
Clark would never help a villain?
They were ready to face him and they did. They managed to bring him down, but Mixie took the ship to head to the secret headquarters of the Lois Lane League, and he was helped by our Lois Lane. You ran into a legion of yourself, and the first thing you did was suspect they were lying. Thanks to the recorder of Lois Prime, the founder of this league, Mixie can find the location of this headquarters. At the headquarters, Lane gets the answer she needed from the file, and Mr. Mick Spidleck recovers his remaining power. The Legion arrived and fought the unstoppable interdimensional being. But it doesn't matter that all of reality is in danger, because in this series there is always time for love. Honestly, these two had already taken too long. In just a couple of seconds, they came up with a plan to stop the most powerful creature they've ever known, and it worked. The hat was put away, Mixie was taken prisoner, and the three friends disappeared with the help of an Olsen who belonged to the League. At night, when Lois accidentally activated the device, she learned there were also evil Supermen among the Infinite Ones. By the way, Mixie escaped from his prison almost immediately, just so he wouldn't miss this series. This just got interesting.
What is this?
We need to discuss where the kidnapped villains are. Well, it's not a big surprise to find out that they're being held by the government, and now all of them are part of Task Force X. One night, Clark Kent discovers that he can literally hear everything around him. Now, he was almost a god. The city was dangerous, and he had to use his power to choose which lives to save. The world was dark and depressing. This is what such a powerful being really looked like among us. So much depth, so many hidden symbols and slow motion scenes. Sorry, I got the wrong version. Forget what I said before. Actually, this Superman came to help everyone in danger in the city. He even briefly heard the general's voice. It was a tough night. The hero's good deeds drew a big audience to Jimmy on Firebird, who thanked Superman in his comments. Despite not having slept in days, this was no reason to forget, to give Lois a tiny little gift for their 1-week anniversary. That's how you show love, folks. Never settle for less. She was still a bit worried about what she saw in the file she stole from the other Lois. But this changes when Perry assigns her to collaborate with guest editor Vicky Bale, who works at the Gotham City Gazette and is one of Bruce Wayne's most well-known love interests. I have
A poster of her in my room. Nice. I have a poster of myself at work.
Some of her articles on the Queens and the Falcones are referenced. In this series, she maintains her status as a prominent reporter and is highly admired by Lois and Perry. He invited her to the Daily Planet to recruit her, but her story wouldn't satisfy the interns. She said that Superman was a danger. What? Vicky was just looking for controversy, but the people of Metropolis had a pretty solid opinion about the superhero. Superman rescued me when my engine failed. Without him, I wouldn't be here today.
He's a good guy. He helps me with my shopping bags.
Superman learned from the news that Mist, the invisible guy, was loose. With Jimmy and Firebird's help, he found him faster. Remember, the super hearing made this search a bit harder. After many interviewees contradicted her, Vicky Bale finally found what she wanted, with someone she barely knows, Injustice. What if he thinks his powers mean he doesn't have to obey our laws?
If he really wanted to hurt us, what could we do about it?
Given Superman's power, one bad day from him could end us all.
Be careful, man. The reporter basically tossed everything she was told. At the same time, Superman made a mistake by causing an accident, and people were really afraid of what he was capable of. His friends noticed this. It was obvious that Clark was weak from so many days without sleep, and people's comments didn't help at all.
Is Superman dangerous? He should go back to where he came from. Yes, let the angel be here.
Despite everything, he refused to give up his quest to find the general at any cost. When Mist explained he was trying to save his sister, Superman immediately helped him after catching him. Mist revealed the location where all the criminals were being held, but unfortunately, it was all part of a trap. The Special X team was ready to attack Roadhouse, Silver Banshee, Lightwire, Headwave, Deathstroke, and Parasite. They were waiting for him. Vicky Bale just used the Daily Planet for a story and a promotion in Gotham. When they found out that Superman was facing multiple enemies, Lois and Jimmy didn't hesitate to go to him to try to help him as much as possible. Unfortunately, there was nothing they could do. Clark fought as hard as he could, but evil was his downfall. Lois and Jimmy arrived too late. Superman was taken into custody by the General. If you haven't seen the series, you might wonder, why does the government oppose this superhero? 22 years ago, the army was investigating an unidentified flying object. However, a sudden attack by alien invaders cost dozens of lives. It was the beginning of an invasion that abruptly vanished, and the only survivors were those two. Since then, they vowed to seize this technology by any means, preparing for the next attack from this alien and his race. Superman said nothing despite punishment. When he learned his people's true nature, he was so surprised he made the General doubt briefly. This conflict made the man question their actions, but his mistake was doubting his work in front of Waller. If you can't make the right decision, you're not the man I followed all these years. While he was still in charge, this woman caused a prison breakout. Parasite wanted revenge on Superman, but Superman left after hearing Lois's voice nearby.
I will get back now.
Where are you?
Isaac? Ayan and Jimmy kept searching for their friend despite slim odds of finding him. Aibo absorbed the building's energy and became a huge threat. While the rest of Force X was getting out of here, Superman was found by Flip, and for a while he wasn't doing well. Was he really affected by the revelation of how brutally his people acted? He even started to think he was only sent here as a weapon.
I'm an alien invader sent to kill you.
Don't say that, my love, please. No matter what you are, weapon, person, hero, or threat. All that's certain is Parasite was destroying the city while obsessed with killing Superman. Are there any injured people, Louisa?
I must try.
It seemed the Man of Steel had no chance. People were scared, and then it happened. Lois and Jimmy Olsen asked the citizens to help Superman. That strong guy who chose to do simple things like rescuing a cat from a tree, helping an old lady with groceries, or reuniting a lost child with their family? Who took the time to take a picture with strangers and was even capable of such impressive feats? Constantly saving the day with a smile?
Superman has saved this city over and over again. It's time for us to save Superman.
His words worked. Ivo grew weaker, and the Metropolis champion saved the city again. And as it should be, there's more time for romance. As a good friend, Jimmy gives them space, but eventually discovers Lois's purse secret. The General's doubts had consequences. At work, Waller spoke to her superiors. Starting today, she led Task Force X, and her intent to kill Superman was unmistakable. Clark started having nightmares where he saw himself as a threat to the world. He believed that Jor-El had sent him here to conquer the planet, but Superman said that would never happen. He asked his friends to help him find the general to try to form an alliance and protect Earth. What if the Kryptonians came back? The good news is that after all the conflicts they caused, Perry White finally made all three of them reporters. Lois Lane also met her in-laws on Thanksgiving, and Clark met Zoonopia's mysterious dad. I feel like I've seen this before.
Do you seem familiar to me, Kent?
Have we met before? Jimmy showed up before dinner, bringing the things these two had forgotten at work, and then Clark discovered that little secret. Along with the key weakness, apparently, this danger triggered the Kryptonian ship. The general immediately called for reinforcements, believing that a new invasion had begun. Accidentally, Jimmy discovered that this rock neutralized the machines. And in the middle of all the conflict, Lloyd realized his father was the Special Force X general and the one who kidnapped and tortured Superman. The hero fought robots as they watched a portal open in the sky. It looked like the end of the world, and Clark took the sphere with him to stop the ship, even though this put his life at risk. With Jor-El's help, Superman reached the ship's core and destroyed it in one blow. That was more than enough to stop the invasion. Though Clark was saved by his father, he still had to face General Lane.
That man risked everything to protect our world. If you really care about me, let him go.
Lois was the one who intervened. Using some emotional blackmail, Sam called off reinforcements and vanished before his daughter could thank him. In the end, the family was able to finish dinner as usual. Jimmy revealed that he sold Firebird to the Daily Planet and was now a billionaire, but the story isn't over yet. In deep space, an interplanetary enemy waits for the exact moment to reach Earth. None other than Brainiac. In the end, they knelt down. And this is how this story ends, at least for now, since the second season is currently in production. Hopefully, it will be ready by 2024. Share your thoughts on the series in the comments. Like I said earlier, I enjoyed it. It has several flaws, mainly with most villains. Their designs and moments aren't memorable. The episodes feel rushed. Hopefully, this will be fixed in future episodes. For now, I think it's a decent product. Don't mind me too much. If all goes well, this could start a new shared universe, just like Batman did in the 90s. We've seen nods to many heroes and villains, including Dr. Fate, the Lanterns, Starman, Mr. Terrific, Wonder Woman, Doom Patrol, Legion of Superheroes, and Katana. Rumors mention Atlantis, Starro, Gotham, and the Falcones. So are there more characters? Yes, there are, and a lot of them, but will we see them soon? That's the question. Anyway, I hope you liked this video, and don't forget to help me share it to beat the YouTube algorithm. To give extra support, use the code NEGAYO in the Epic Store or get a channel membership for benefits. In the meantime, there's nothing left for me to say except thank you so much for stopping by, everyone. My name is Alex for the NEGAYO channel. See you later. Thank you.